Oh, sugar, when it comes to me, you love me right down to my knees. And whenever you let me hit it, sweet like sugar when it comes to me. Skin is caramel with them cocoa eyes. She even got a big sister by the name of Chocolate Tie. Brown sugar, baby. I gets high off your love, don't know how to behave. Nothing's too much, words that I live by. That's just how I do.
When people kind of hear that you're an artist, your name is Mack, do they assume rapper? You
Absolutely.
get that a lot.
First and foremost, that's the first thing everybody says. Like,
okay.
even knowing, I guess, my background and where the different roles that I've done, the first thing is, oh my God, he's a rapper. He has to be a rapper.
Right. Exactly.
He has to be. So I love giving them a pleasant surprise of hearing some vocals.
Right.
I mean, I do rap as well, but
yeah,
singing is definitely one of my favorite things to do.
Right. And then Mack is actually a family name. It's not like this name that you came up because you were born last week. You actually have had this name for a while.
For a long time.
A long time.
Yeah, like, growing up in my neighborhood, that was my name. That's what everyone called me, Mack.
Right.
So, with that, my mom calls me Mack. She only really calls me Tristan if I'm in trouble or something.
Ooh.
Yeah,
the full name.
Exactly.
You know how
it is. Tristan Paul Mack Wild. Get your that whole thing. Yeah.
Well, I can understand having the dynamic of, okay, so this is me, the actor, and here is me, the artist. Exactly. And I think people, as you said, are very much gravitating to the idea of you being an artist because you kind of exude this type of artistic sense. You kind of give that off. And we've actually seen you do some musical things throughout the years.
Yes.
This isn't like the first time we've seen you ever do anything related to music.
Exactly, yeah.
Even playing certain roles, we saw you doing some things too.
Yeah. Secret Life of Bees, I was singing. In 90210, my character was a producer. So yeah.
Right. So it's kind of very much full circle to some degree, I think most people would say. Now, of course, I always try to look at both sides, and people are definitely loving the element of you being a singer. But then you're going to have those critics that are going to say, okay, so this is another actor turned singer, or so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
But the interesting thing that I was able to find out was that this was actually your first passion.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, so if obviously they say which came first, the chicken or the egg? This was the chicken.
Exactly. This was the first thing before acting. Everything, like I was a little kid running around the house with a talk box singing into it, like My Last Cry and Fight the Power.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was me.
That was your spectrum, your catalog.
Yeah, it was crazy. My Last Cry and Fight the Power. So you kind of understand what kind of person I was gonna grow up to be.
Right.
But with that, my older brother was acting at the time. He was doing little commercials here and there. So I think I seen him on like different little TV shows, and I was like, hey, that might be cool. Let me try it. Started doing plays in school. From there, literally, it just I tried out for something when I was like 14, 15. Got a commercial. One commercial turned into another. And just really started to build from there.
Okay. So do you feel, you mentioned your brother, and did you feel any pressure or anything specifically when you were growing up? And obviously you're looking at all of this, and, I'm sure the family was like, they seem pretty much, oh, okay, follow your dream, follow your passion, but, well, we got to leg in on this, you better hop on this boat, because that's how parents are. Like, well, we got in on this, and you got to do this.
No, it was funny. My mom didn't even want me to act.
Really?
My mom, nobody really did, because when my older brother was acting, when I grew, where we grew up was a pretty bad neighborhood. So when everyone was seeing that he was on television and stuff, one day he came home from school, and they tried to slice open my brother's bag with razor blades. They tried to cut him, but only got his book bag. They cut his book bag.
Thank God that it was only his book bag and not something else. Obviously.
Exactly. So from there, my mom was banned acting. She forget about it. She was so nervous. So when I brought it back up when I was about 14, I think that was kind of the catalyst that really brought her on to say, well, listen, if you want to do this, then you're going to do it by yourself.
Right.
Don't ask me for any help. Like, I'll give you a Metro card. You get into the city yourself. You go to these auditions. So if you make it, it's your fault. But if you fail, it's your fault. You can't blame anyone else.
All right, militant mother.
Yeah, she's crazy.
She's crazy. Now, you're actually, I know you're from the New York City area, but you're from Staten Island.
Staten Island, yes, ma'am.
So, okay, do you wear that loud and proud? Because I feel like Staten Island sometimes is a forgotten borough. Everybody's like, I'm from Brooklyn, son, and I'm from Beat X all day. I'm from Staten Island. I don't know. How do you do the Staten Island like chant? I mean, do you wear it loud and proud like that?
Yeah, I have to, and that's the main reason why. There's not many people who, even growing up there were so many people who lived in Stapleton or in Park Hill or in any one of the surrounding neighborhoods, and they would say, "Oh, I'm from Brooklyn."
You'd be
like, you live here. I know. I've been to your building. Like I know where you hang out. You don't live in no Brooklyn. Well, I was born in Brooklyn.
Right.
And my mom brought me over here when I was 3. You're from Staten Island. Stop it. So yeah, I definitely wear it loud and proud.
Okay, well that's a good thing. I mean, obviously there are some very notable people from that area.
Yes.
Woo woo to the tang. So yeah, shout outs to them. Shout out to that affiliation. Now I do want to jump into the album because clearly this is what's coming up September 17th. Is that still true?
7. Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's a big day.
Yeah, it is.
It's a busy day.
It's a busy day. Very busy day.
How do you feel about the busyness of that day? I mean, obviously I can state the obvious, but you know, if you want to delve into that as well, that's all good with me.
You know, honestly, I appreciate it. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a day that people are going to be out in the stores anyway. So they're going to see my album there with everyone else's, and Lord willing, they have an extra $10 to pick up mine as well. You know,
or maybe they went in there with that mindset. I want to get his album, and then they'll pick up somebody else's album as well.
Exactly.
We got to change the mindset of people.
You know, that's all we're here to do. We're here to change the soundscape in the minds of people.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you know, I have to ask because clearly, you know, these are other artists such as yourself who are movers and shakers.
Absolutely.
Any competitive spirit in that? Any thought of like, all right, I see you. I see you, son. That's good.
I feel like I'm still too young in the game to even have too much of a competitive spirit against people who are on their 3rd and 4th album.
Right. Okay. I can get that.
Second album, maybe I'll definitely be grabbing my nuts a little more. I'll eat that humble pie and just. You know,
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. I mean, you know, that's good. That's good. Now, okay, album title, New York, A Love Story.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Love it. Here's my thoughts. Okay. Seems like you're going through something. I mean, what's going on? It's funny because when I hear the name of the album, I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be emotional. Is it emotional? Do you think it's a little bit emotional? I mean, are you pouring your heart out a little bit?
I feel it's more so. It's emotional in the sense of. It had, you know, every emotion in it is definitely grandiose. Okay. It's big. So, like, from songs that we have on it, like, I guess, like A New York Love Story, it's you know, the title track, it's definitely a song that has the emotion and the intent of a love song, but it's placed in our world today. You know, usually it was boy meets girl takes her out, you know, guy takes girl out on a date, you know, they live happily ever after, have kids, etc., etc. Nowadays it's guy meets girl, probably hits a couple times, finds out that he really, really appreciates her, and then it's like, hey, let's try something else. So it's like songs built around the lifestyles that we live now. Okay.
So I mean, yes, it's very true in that respect, but would you say that it's kind of a little bit of a microcosm of what you've been through in your personal story? Do you get real revealing? I mean, you know, like, I don't want to say Taylor Swift revealing, like, and she wore the scarf that I gave her for last Christmas with the little hearts and stuff on it, but I'm saying, how revealing do we get?
It's pretty deep. Like, you know, I'm definitely talking about real life situations, whether they be mine or a mixture of mine and a friend's. Okay. Definitely just build on real life situations.
Oh baby, come be my dream girl. Pick up fantasy and let me work out.